Trey, you want to lead us off?
Yeah. Am I muted or unmuted? Am I good? Hey, Coach. Hey, we noticed you had Eric Thomas moved over to tight end today. I think he was recruited as a defensive end and listed as a linebacker. Now he's a tight end. Is that just, I guess, with Hudson being a little out today?
No, I think we're trying to find another physical tight end, and Eric's not necessarily at this point, high on the depth chart at linebacker. He certainly can work his way up, but we thought that his opportunity to play faster would be maybe possibly at tight end, so we're going to look at him there.
Nate?
Sam, just one of how's the offense going, installation and pads, and two, what I was asking really was the last bunch tried to run a up-tempo offense with his personnel and couldn't. What's your confidence level that you all can do it?
Well, if I wasn't confident we could do it, we wouldn't do it, number one. But we probably, I don't know, we probably got 85, 90% of our offense in, to be honest with you. And we're not up-tempo all the time, we talk about a fast offense because when we want to play at that speed, we have to be ready to play at that speed. So do we practice it? We obviously do, but we're certainly not up-tempo all the time.
Bob?
Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Hey, Bob.
How's the offensive line doing overall, would you say, since you guys got in pads? And how's Ricky doing at center? Kind of how's he splitting his work up there? And just, what your thoughts are on the line overall?
I was really pleased with the line today. I thought they had a nice practice. We have to strain. We have to be mentally tough as a team. We have to get tougher that way. But we have to strain on our blocks. And I thought they did more today than what I've seen. We're still trying to find the right pieces. And as we find the best five we have, we're trying to find the best number 6, number 7, number 8. We're a lot closer than what we were a week ago. But I like Ricky at center. I think he's doing a really nice job. And him and Ty are having a nice battle in there for the center spot. And we're also working Ricky at some guard. We're also working Ty at some guard. So I'm pleased at where we are right now up front on the O-line, and I'm enjoying watching them be a little more physical the last 2 days than what they were previously.
Nikki?
Hey, Coach. What did you think of the NCAA granting an extra season of eligibility for these guys and the implications that could have for your roster? Or is it kind of like, the more the merrier as long as you can cover those scholarships?
Well, we have some seniors on our team. We're going to try to get to stay. I'll tell you that. The NCAA is thinking about the kids first and, the scholarship limits and the finances that it may cost. I'm sure they're concerned about that, but they're doing the right thing, thinking about the kids first. And I'm not positive, Nikki, what that's going to mean as far as are we still going to need to stay at 85 or are we going to, get a few more, how institutions are going to pay for that, those things of that nature. But I think it's a good deal. I mean, if they opt out and they're able to come back and, of course, they get it whether they do or not now, I think it's probably a good deal, and it'll give a chance for some guys that may not be high on the draft board the opportunity to come back and play again. And with the shortened season, I'm sure they did that for everybody, for some of the teams that aren't playing too, So I think it's fair for everyone.
Thank you.
Jason?
Hey, Coach, just what's it been like the last 2 days being back over there with the offensive line and kind of getting some, good work with those guys and kind of seeing where they're at right now?
Well, I mean, we were able, NCAA let us put Joe Henry on the field, and of course Ryan Yurchek is a GA over there. And I'm really not doing too much. You know, they're coaching the line and those things. And I think Coach Davis will be back in the next couple of days, maybe a week at the longest. But those two kids are doing a really nice job over there. I'm over there helping them out a little bit, but they're doing a nice job of meeting with them and coaching them. I think, you know, if I took them completely over, I don't want to lose any of the trust that Coach Davis had with them. And so I'm just kind of a helper over there. You know, Coach Davis is their line coach, and I'm not going to not coach the line, whether Coach Davis is here or not. But I don't want to lose the trust that he's had with the room by saying something differently than what he does. So I'm really just coaching a lot of technique type things.
Hey, Sam, I got kind of a long-winded question here, but as first practices and pads go, can you enlighten us on how much full tackling you did, who showed up, what you thought of execution and ball security and all those things?
I thought our ball security was good. We only had 18. Well, we had some drills that were live tackling, but team-wise, we only had 18 plays of live tackling today. The rest of it was stud up. And it's hard to single out guys because I don't want to divide the team, but I thought everybody played awful hard today. And I think this was our best practice as a football team that we had. So I've had to like the physicality of the practice because that's what we're preaching about: toughness, about strain, about mental toughness. I thought guys tried to fight through practice a little bit more than what they had in the past.
Trey Schapp.
Coach, there are some players that have entered the portal, and some schools that aren't playing this season won't have a season. Have you thought about looking at any of them for this season, or are you not paying attention to the portal at all, or could you even get some of those players?
You know, it's a really fine line. It really is, you know, where right now you would take a transfer. It would have to be a major need on your program. And, you know, the bottom line is these kids have been working out together for a long time, ever since we got here. And you know, if you bring a grad transfer in and you bring him in and he's here in June and, you know, or he's here in January and he's part of the team, it's a little bit different than bringing a guy in right now. So obviously if we had the scholarship number to do it, and if he was a great player, we wouldn't be very smart not to look at him. But there's a fine line in there. You have to be right, and he has to really come in and be the right kind of person and somebody that's going to fit into the football team.
Ty.
Coach, you mentioned if you had a need on the roster currently, as you see it, is there a particular position group that might actually be a question that you guys have this upcoming season?
Well, we'd always take a great player, you know, probably at any position. Certainly I feel like we're a little thin at tight end. So, you know, we obviously moved Eric over there, but it probably had to be somebody with a skill player, somebody that's dynamic with the ball in their hand for us to do that. And there might be another spot or two, you know, but you know, anytime you say who you'd like to bring in, then you're offending the guys on your team, and I'm not going to do that.
Otis.
Coach, how has Zach Williams looked? I mean, he's a kid that played some last year as a true freshman, kind of in the mix there at defensive end. How's he looked?
Yeah, he looks good. He's quick twitched, done a nice job in there. Got some pass rush ability. Really good kid, strains hard, getting better every day. I like him. You know, obviously we'd like to put some weight on him, but as far as his effort and what he brings to our football team as far as character, really enjoyed working with him.
John Neighbors.
What's up, Coach? So you mentioned about mental toughness and how you're really trying to preach that to your team. You know, a lot of coaches do that a lot of different ways. So what's kind of been the main strategy that you as a coaching staff has had as far as making sure that you guys are mentally tough and working on that mental toughness to make you better as the season comes along?
Well, first of all, I believe you have to be mentally tough before you can be physically tough. And so you have to work on them, in my opinion, in that order. And the bottom line is mental toughness you see. In other words, I took a shot. Am I going to get up? Am I going to go back to the sideline? Am I going to go to the trainer? Or am I going to go play another play? And if I'm a little tweaked up, there's certainly, if they're injured, we don't want them out there. But if they can practice, we want them to fight through the practice and let us, decide whether they can, go full speed or can they go in individual drills and things of that nature. Before, it was if you're out, you're just out, and you don't practice individual, you don't practice one-on-one pass pro, you don't practice backpedaling. And we're trying to mentally get them out there to okay, at the individual, can you go? Well, the answer is yes, the answer is no. We've had more yes than no. And, today we didn't have a whole lot of wide receivers out there. I thought they fought through the practice. I made a special announcement after practice about those guys because they fought through it. I didn't know that there was not as many wideouts as normal out there once the practice got going. So, we talk about it all the time. When we say something, we expect it. The kids expect us to be truthful with them, and whatever we ask them to do, we expect them to do it. And certainly whatever we tell them, they expect us to do it.
All right, we'll start our second round through here. If you've got questions, hit me up in the chat if you hadn't already. Trey Biddy.
Marcus Henderson, I think a lot of us are thinking guard for him, and we've seen him working with the second group at left tackle the last couple of days. What have you liked out of Marcus to, I guess, elevate him?
First of all, I think he's really smart, Trey. He's learned the offense awfully fast. Another thing, he has outstanding feet. He likes to compete. He's ahead of a lot of freshmen that I've coached in my past as far as the mental game of it, the strain, the competition part of it. He likes competition. He's just a really good athlete that can play. And therefore, I believe if you have a great athlete, you want to start him outside in. And so we certainly want to look at him at left tackle to see how he's doing there. We moved him to right tackle at some point. I thought it set him back a little bit. I think, when you're thinking all the time, you're not necessarily moving full speed. So we moved him back to his home place that he had started here learning from the beginning. And he's really last 2 days, he's not necessarily playing like a freshman. He's doing a really nice job.
Hutch.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering what your assessment is of the quarterbacks like Felipe and the other guys, and where do you stand on the process of maybe naming a starter?
Well, we might name a starter. We may already have, but we just haven't told nobody. We got certain people playing with the ones and certain people playing with the twos. And to be honest with you, we haven't switched that. So I don't know if I'm going to make a public announcement of who's going to be our quarterback, but I might. But our team knows. That's all that really I'm concerned about.
Nikki.
Coach, who has made you go wow in practice? Like, who has consistently made big plays through these 5 days?
John Marshall, Julius Coates, Traylon Burks, Cunningham at tackle. Dorian Gerald has certainly flashed. and Xavier Kelly has been they're just big dudes. They're hard to move, and they can rush the passer. And, I'm not for sure you're going to have to take them out of the game in third down. I don't know that I would. Barry's going to make that decision, but them guys are hard to block. And so those guys have Jerry Jacobs had a wonderful practice today. He was all over the field. And certainly Mo Brown's been really good, a consistent player. So those are the guys, I hate to name, the whole team that I think's doing good, but those are guys just right off the top of my head that come to mind.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, Sam. So the day you got hired, you said that you got a bunch of texts from the O-line crew, all the coaches out there. And so I'm wondering, do you feel like kind of you're representing the guys this season? And also, do O-line coaches face a more uphill battle, do you think, to get head coaching jobs? Is that a real thing?
I think, number one, in all honesty, I just want to do a good job for the University of Arkansas. Would I like O-line coaches to have opportunities? Do I think there's guys out there that are worthy of head coaching jobs? Of course. But my main concern is I just want to do the best damn job I can for the University of Arkansas. And your other question was, what was the last one? You had something about.
Well, it's just that, do you feel like O-line coaches face an uphill job? And what is it maybe?
It's a coordinator world. It's coordinator. But the bottom line is a coordinator, he's going to be privy. He's going to know things about every place. But he's probably going to have his expertise at the quarterback spot, the throwing game, things of that nature. Your O-line coach is going to have expertise at the protection game, at the run game, all those type of things. The bottom line is, can you get up in a group of people and make them believe? Coordinators have had that opportunity every day in their unit meetings. And so they're probably a little bit more better prepared for things of this nature that we're talking about right now than possibly a guy that all he does is sit around and talk to big old linemen all the time. So I think they have an advantage there, and certainly if their offense has numbers, it could be because they got a great O-line. It could be because they're great coordinators. Who knows? But right now, that's what's going on. The coordinators are getting the jobs. And yes, would I like to do well for O-line coach? Yes, but the main reason is because I was hired at Arkansas to do a job, and that's what I'm going to do.
Hey, Sam, I had one question on offense, one on defense. How's Jones looking at guard? And how many guys are competing for those starting jobs? And then you brought up Coates. I was wondering specifically what's he doing that's standing out to you?
Well, he's making all kinds of plays. I mean, we can't hardly block the guy. And so that's part of it. And then you talked about linemen. There's probably, to be honest with you, there's probably about 8, maybe 9 guys in there that are seriously have an opportunity to start for us. And we probably started 8 I know we have 8. We probably started 9 different units in there. Maybe just a piece here, a piece there, but we probably had 9 different looks in there. Of course, we've 2-spotted a bunch of practice, and so with that happening, when you only have maybe 16 or 17 old linemen, they have to play different positions, which allows you to see them at that. Now, as we get closer to the season, we're going to cut that out. We're going to make sure that we have them understanding the guy that's definitely going to play next to them. But it has been advantageous for us just to find out who can play and possibly can he play left guard, can he play center. Feel good about the center spot. I think we have 3 to maybe 4 guys that can play center for us. So, obviously you can't function if you can't snap it. So I'm proud about that part of it as well.
All right, we got time for 2 or 3 more. Ty?
Yeah, Coach, you just mentioned that your main concern is making sure that you do a damn good job here. I know that the U of A put out that video that you want to make this state proud. Have you talked to fans about how important and how much they like you genuinely wanting to be the head coach at Arkansas?
How about say it again? You cut the very last part.
Have you heard from fans how much they appreciate you wanting to be not just an SEC head coach, not just a Division I head coach, but the head coach at Arkansas?
Well, you know, the COVID world. You know, I haven't talked to many people personally. Obviously, I'll get some texts and some things of that nature, but. I can feel the passion for the program and the passion of how much that the Arkansas fans want this program to be respectable and be talked about in a respectable way. And is there pressure with that? No, probably, but I don't know how you put pressure on a guy that puts pressure on himself. You know what I mean? So you know, I love this place and I want it to be what it should be. And it's going to take a lot of work. But I'll tell you this, my friend, I'm surrounded with some great coaches. And our players are playing hard. And as long as they'll do that, we're going to improve. But to answer your question, I you know, you can feel the passion of the Razorback fans. They want some respect. And certainly we're going to try to give it to them.
All right, Trey Biddy, wrap us up.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious about with the blanket waiver, did that like change your thoughts on how you will deal with freshmen instead of like keeping them down to 4 games if you want to be able to redshirt them to like maybe Malik is a guy that can help you running the ball in some situations or Dominic Johnson turns into a goal line back. Have you given any thought to that?
You know, used to, Trey, I was concerned about redshirting guys and developed guys and all that, but I've had so many guys leave in 3 years, you know, that I think we're going to err on the side of playing them, you know, get them out there, play them. Obviously, there'll be those 3 or 4 guys that once you get to that 4 on, hey, you know, but I'm going to err on if I'm halfway close as a young guy to a guy that's a little bit older, I'm going to err on playing the young guy because I think he'll pass the older guy. We know what he's been able to do. And, of course, we don't know that necessarily right now about our own team, but we will in the future. But I'm kind of the guy that wants to play whoever I think can help us regardless of their age. And so I don't know if it'll really make a big difference or not, to be honest with you.
All right, Psych. We're going to go with Nate Allen for the last one.
Sam, just as the first day in pads with the offensive line, just how was their stamina? The guys have gotten bigger and everything. Just how did they handle it their first day in pads?
I tell you, I didn't like our transition on and off the field today, to be honest with you. And we talked about it after practice. During the plays, I thought we were going extremely hard. I enjoyed watching them practice. But the transition on and off the field was slow. So to me, if I'm running, I need to run to get in shape. So a jog off the field, to me, I'm not benefiting why I'm out to practice. I need to run off the field so I can use that as conditioning as well. And but I did think they played awful hard between the whistles. But I think for that extra conditioning, we can get it done during practice if we'll get on and off the field a little bit better.
All right, that's going to wrap us up. Thanks, Coach Pittman.